Okay, so I was gonna finish up the book Steal Like an Artist since well, we haven't done that in a while, right? Not really sure where we are at this point, so I'm gonna kind of skim through. I think maybe we're at five side projects and hobbies are important. And it's about page 64, and I'm just gonna finish the book during this small lecture area of what I thought about it. It says the work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing for the rest of your life. That's a quote. All right, so now my thought about that is, that would be nice if that is something that we could do. I mean, could you imagine, just doing stuff that you enjoy all the time? You'd probably be better at it than anything else because of the motivation that you would have for it. So I like that quote. And that was the work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing for the rest of your life. Practice productive procrastination. And now the author writes, one thing I learned in my brief career is the side projects that really take off. By side projects, I mean the stuff that you thought you were just messing around. Stuff that's just play. That's actually the good stuff. That's when the magic happens. And I've had people tell me that about some of my work too. Like I've done, one time I did a postcard for this mail art show, and everybody was really shocked and they really, really enjoyed it. And it was just something I did on the side, and it was very unusual. I was more experimental with it, and it really ended up changing all my work. All right. So now it says, I think it's good to have a lot of projects going at once so you could bounce between them. When you get sick of one project, you move to the other. And I usually like having a couple, but usually not more than three. That's usually too much. But some of you have more than that right now because of the classes that you're in. Now it says here, take time to be bored. One time I heard a coworker say, when I get busy, I get stupid. Creative people need time to just sit around and do nothing. I get some of my best ideas when I'm bored, which is why I never take my shirts to the cleaners. I love ironing my shirts. It's so boring. I almost always get good ideas. If you're out of ideas, wash dishes, take a really long walk, stare at a spot on the wall. What's funny is I always tell people that I'm never bored. And that's true. I usually am never bored. I mean, I never say I'm bored. I guess actually I could just sit there in a hammock and look at the clouds. And I don't find that to be all that boring. I mean, I'm sure if I did that all day, maybe, but I always can get lost in thought. I think that's why I enjoy, driving so much. Here it says, take time to mess around, get lost, wander. You never know where it's going to lead you. And I don't just do this in my work, I do this in my life. I don't mind getting lost as long as I don't have to be someplace on time. I enjoy traveling across the country and seeing new developments and new neighborhoods, new experiences. Don't throw any of yourself away. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. If you have two or three real passions, don't feel like you have to pick and choose between them. Don't discard. Keep all your passions in your life. This is something I learned from the playwright, Stephen. All right, so wait, this is on page 68. I agree. If you enjoy multiple things, do them. I consider myself a fine artist and a graphic artist. When people ask me what I am, I say artist. And it's hard for me to say I like painting more than graphic design. I really enjoy all of it. And I like the sign in the book. It says, attention, do not leave your longings unattended. It says, so they have somebody who suggested that if you love different things, you just keep spending time with them. Let them talk to each other. Sometimes something will begin to happen. And I think that's true. I think that they start intersecting with each other and you learn from each, and you could take, from my paintings and from the textures, I could bring that into my graphic work. And I see myself doing that back and forth all the time. All right, so I'm going to skim through the book and tell you where I'm at. So it says number 6, the secret: do good work and share it with people. A lot of times artists don't like to share because they're afraid their ideas will get stolen. But the thing is this: I used to be like that, and I don't share everything, but I share a lot of stuff. And if you don't, then people don't remember. They don't even know what you do. So it's better than sitting in the basement, having all your stuff. I get a lot of emails from young people asking, how do I get discovered? And that is tough because it is different for a lot of people. I sympathize with them. There's a kind of fallout that happens when you leave college. The classroom is a wonderful, if artificial, place. Your professors get paid to pay attention to your ideas, and your classmates are paying to pay attention to your ideas. Never again in your life will you have such a captive audience. But today with social media, you might even have more of a captive audience, I guess, because you have to reach out and grab them, I guess. They're not really captive, I have to say. I miss I miss that environment, the whole environment of being with other artists that can, give you good feedback. So it says, soon after, you learn that most of the world doesn't necessarily care about what you think. It sounds harsh, but it's true. It's not that people are mean or cruel, they're just busy. This actually is a good thing because you want attention only after you are doing really good work. There's no pressure when you're unknown. You could do what you want. Experiment, do things just for fun of it. When you're known, there's nothing to distract you from getting better. No public image to manage, no huge paycheck on the line, no stockholders, no emails from your agent, no hangers on. You'll never get that freedom back again once people start paying attention. And I guess that is true. I mean, even if you want to look at it from the viewpoint of celebrities, I mean, when they were just working, as a waiter or waitress, some of them, and that's a really funny, cliche. I mean, I shouldn't even use that. It's not really fair to all of them. Just like, people do that same stuff to artists. But when they were working, at small plays or, community plays, and they weren't known yet, as they moved their way up to become even A-rate celebrities, their life has completely changed. Any mistake they make, everybody knows about it. So it's something to think about. Get inspiration off other people and then inspire other people. All right, I'm skimming through up to 7. Geography is no longer our master, and that's the truth. It says, build your own world. I grew up in the middle of a cornfield in southern Ohio, the author says. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was get someplace where something was happening. Now I live in Texas, Austin, Texas, a pretty hip place, tons of artists and creative types everywhere. And you know what? I say that 90% of my mentors and peers don't live in Austin, Texas. They live everywhere, and it's because of the internet. So your fan base may not even be in the same state. So make sure you get out there, get out on all the social medias that are out there. If you have Instagram, Facebook, a lot of people say nobody uses Facebook anymore, but I still use it. So maybe one day it'll be obsolete, kind of like MySpace turned into. So it says, all you need is a little space and a little time, a place to work and some time to do it. Give yourself the time to do it. I mean, that's the key thing. I know a lot of people who just stop doing art altogether. Leave home. Distance and differences are the secret tonic of creativity. When we get home, home is still the same, but something in our mind has changed, and that changes everything. Travel. Brain gets too comfortable in your everyday surrounding. You need to make it uncomfortable. You need to spend some time in another land among people that do things differently than you. Travel makes the world look new, and when the world looks new, our brains work harder. All right, so then we get into 8. Be nice. The world is a small town. Make friends, ignore enemies. There's only one reason I'm here. I'm here to make friends. The golden rule. There's a lot of golden rules, but the golden rule is even more golden in our hyper-connected world. An important lesson to learn. If you talk about someone on the internet, they will find out. Everybody has Google on their name. The best way to vanquish your enemies on the internet, ignore them. The best way to make friends on the internet, say nice things about them. There's only one rule I know. You got to be kind. And people aren't going to drag you down. People are going to lift you up and brag about you even. And you guys should do that for each other. I had the tattoo done on my leg, and I wanted to get my one dog tattoo on my back redone. And the artist said to me he can do it and is willing to do it, but he thinks his friend would be better off doing it, and that I'd like the tattoo a lot better. And that is when you have a really good artist. Because the artist actually gave away the business, not because he didn't like me or anything like that. It was because he knew that I would appreciate it more, the style more from the other artist. So if in the event that you feel like you know somebody else that can do the job better, say that you could do it, explain that. I mean, that's just really, I mean, I would probably go back to that artist because of what he said. I haven't gotten a new tattoo, but I mean, in the event that I were to, I might pick him to do different ones based on his own style. Everybody's got different styles. We are all very, very talented at different things. It says, quit picking fights on Twitter and go make something. And I think that's funny because we've all seen that. All right, so let's skim through here. Write fan letters. That's interesting. The internet is really good for this. Write a blog post about someone's work that you admire and link it to their site. Make something and dedicate it to your hero. Answer a question they've asked. Solve a problem for them or improve on their work. And share it online. Be boring. It's the only way to get work done. Now, yeah, maybe I could use that advice sometimes. I have way too much on my plate and I never get work done. So, my own work done, I should say. On the rare occasion I get my work done. It's like if I have a deadline coming up, then I make sure that work gets done, but I don't get very much sleep at all then. Take care of yourself. Be regular and orderly in your life so that you may be violent and original in your work. This is, I'm a boring guy with a 9-to-5 job who lives in a quiet neighborhood with a wife and dog. That whole romantic image of the creative genius doing drugs and running around and sleeping with everyone is played out. It's for the superhuman and the people who want to die young. It's kind of messed up, but it's what the author wrote. The thing is, it takes a lot of energy to be creative. You don't have the energy if you waste it on other stuff. It's best to assume that you will be alive for a while. It says, eat breakfast, do some push-ups, go for long walks, get plenty of sleep. It's better to burn out than to fade away. It's better to burn slow and see your grandkids. Stay out of debt. Now, that's a tough one for everybody, because especially when you're first getting out of college. It says, most people I know hate to think about money. Do yourself a favor, learn about money as soon as you can. And it says, my grandpa used to tell my dad, son, it's not the money you make, it's the money you hold on to. Make yourself a budget, live within your means, pack your lunch, pinch pennies, save as much as you can, get the education you need for as cheap as you could get it. The art of holding on to money is all about saying no to the consumer culture, saying no to takeouts, $4 lattes, and shiny new computer while the old one still works fine. Now, keep your day job. The truth is, even if you're lucky enough to make a living off doing what you truly love, it will probably take you a while to get to that point. Until then, you need a day job. The trick is to find a day job that pays decently, doesn't make you want to vomit, and leaves you with enough energy to make things in your spare time. Good day jobs aren't necessarily easy to find, but they are out there. Hopefully all your day jobs are as graphic designers. I'm sure they will be. So it talks about getting a calendar, keep a logbook, keep your contact book. It talks about marry well, and I think that's funny. Who you marry is the most important decision you'll ever make. And marry well doesn't just mean your life partner. It also means who you do business with, who you befriend, who you choose to be around. Relationships are hard enough, but it takes a real champion of a person to be married to someone who's obsessed with a creative pursuit. Lots of times you have to be a maid, a cook, motivational speaker, a mother, and an editor all at once. A good partner keeps you grounded. A friend once remarked that living with an artist must make our house very inspiring. And my wife joked, "Oh yeah, it's like living with Da Vinci." That's funny if you guys learned about Leonardo da Vinci, which I know that you have. 10. Creativity is subtraction. Choose what to leave out. And that's an interesting way of looking at creativity, as being something that's subtraction. Looking at a big idea and you're taking it and making it minimal or more minimal. All right, so the end of this book, what now? Take a walk, start your swipe file, go to the library, buy a notebook and use it, get yourself a calendar, start your logbook, give a copy of this book away, start a blog, and take a nap.